What is up, everyone? Welcome back to another Brief Frontier video, and today this is not a summon video. So as you can see, in a couple of hours, the Brave Autumn unit of choice is gonna come out in a couple of hours. Because of maintenance and stuff like that. Maintenance happens in about an hour or about a few minutes. I don't know how I'm logged in still, but I can help you with I guess choosing your unit of choice and stuff like that. So yeah. So the main focus about, I guess, for the unit of choice are the RC7 units. Almost all of them are going to be featured in the unit of choice, other than the one Tarek is not going to be featured at all, just because he came out recently, and I think that's why they honestly didn't put him in there. I don't know why. I don't know. I guess that's why they put him in there, but honestly, I don't really care. I feel like they should have just put him in there, but whatever. And yeah, so the main focus of the unit of choice is the RC7 units, and the first one we're gonna be touching up on is Zorak. I don't have it maxed out, just because recently another unit in the Tokyo Ghoul collab called Juzo overclasses this unit by a mile, but she's a collab unit and a very limited unit. Very limited. The only time you can have gotten her is during the Tokyo Ghoul event. So we'll go over to Zorak. So the reason why you would want him is mainly for his Brave Wrist, but we're gonna go over that later. We're gonna go over his kit. So main thing is his leader skill, right? Or main thing is his Brave Wrist, but we're gonna go over his leader skill. So his leader skill is the usual 200% boost to attack, 100% boost to defense and max HP. He boosts crit hit rate of fire types, but the main thing of all this in his leader skill is the enormously boost fire elemental damage. So this is really good for RC7 since it's a mono element, and also with this meta and stuff like that, a lot of like teams being used are mono element. And so yeah, it's really good. And also for that RC7, again, since it is earth bosses, he does have 15% damage reduction from fire and earth types, which a lot of these units tend to have, is like a 15% damage reduction from a certain element or elements, and he negates crit and elemental damage, so that's really good. So yeah, he boosts elemental damage and he has damage reduction, which is really good for RC7. He's a good lead for RC7 if you don't have Juzo, if you don't have Bakugo. So again, there is no clear-cut units you should choose, unlike the last one. This one's a little bit more of situational. So if you need a fire leader for your fire squad, you should get Zorak. And yeah, and main thing also, like with these units, is that in the Brave Burst, they have a double attacking single target in the Brave Burst. Dual attack single foe to a single foe, and one of those attacks has a probable 5% damage of foe's max HP, and that is so good for killing down arms and RC7 for those bosses, so you can get those drops. And so that's why you would want to get Zorak for your team, is because of that. That plus another friendly Juzo, right, is so good at killing down arms. Like, it's just fast, and so that's why you want this. And another thing that these RC7 units have is the ability to purge status ailment negation effects, which a lot of these bosses do have. So in his enhancements, you can use 15 SPs to get a probability of purging status ailment negation effects, and then on top of that, it unlocks 2 other slots or skills under the enhancements. And for 25, an additional 25 after that, you can get another plus 25% chance of purging paralysis negation effect. And then on top of that, you can boost another, spend another 25 on the probability to purge poison negation effects. So that's really good, especially again for RC7. So All these units are for RC7 and for mono element squads. But other than that, I don't think he has any more uses. Yeah. Like, they don't really have any, he doesn't really have any uses. And also, by the way, just to keep in mind, all of these units, UBB, I think all of them do. Let me check first before I say it. They have, their UBB, pierces, which is a very weird mechanic to understand, but pretty much it does a lot of damage. And all their UBBs do that, so that's really nice with Auric. Again, if you really need a fire lead, like very decent fire lead and fire nuker, I guess you can say. He's like a single target nuking. You really need Auric, honestly. If you really need a switch up, if you don't have Juzo, if you don't have Bakugo, get Auric. Really good. Really, really good. Next up for this one is the obvious Giselle. I think if, again, this is all situational. You can, all of these units are really good. It just depends on your situation and just like what you need. Excuse me, but for me, I think Giselle is one of the more higher priority units for this. And I'll explain why. So, again, her leader skill, she has a 200% boost to attack, 100% boost to defense, and max HP of water types. She greatly boosts BB attack, and then she has the usual enormous boost to water elemental damage. Again, all these units have that enormous boost to blank element. So if they're a water type, they'll be doing the water, dark, you know, so on and so forth, light, thunder, yeah. And another good thing that she has is that if she has a BB sphere on her, or the, what is it called? Reparatrice? I butchered that name so hard. But that is her sphere you can get from RC7 in the event bazaar under, I think, Raid Battle. Yeah, Raid Battle, you can use one of those tokens that you get from beating RC7 quests to get materials for unlocking your sphere, which I don't put on her because I have a BB sphere on her. So, and with that, she can boost. She has a spark on BB. BB fill on spark, which is really good. I mean, it's like barely anything, but it is something, right? So that's really good. And then she obviously has that 15% damage reduction from fire and water types. That's, again, all these all these units have that 50% damage reduction. So again, you would want to have these, but main use is obviously her Brave Burst. She has OD gauge fill rate, which is really good for, again, the strat of IUEB. Everyone is doing it. It's really good for that. She has OD gauge fill rate on her leader skill, which is really nice. Her BB boosts OD gauge on top of the dual single target nuking that she has. The double attack Brave Burst, so that's really nice. And I use her actually for a UBB. So in Frontier Hunter, the main meta for that is recasting, and in her UBB she has recasting, and on top of that boosts water elemental damage by 500%, which is a lot. So that is very good for Frontier Hunter. That is very strong for Frontier Hunter. And on top of that, it pierces, and that's why you use it, because it pierces. It does so much damage. So yeah, again, Giselle is a solid unit in general, just in general, but even better as a lead for RC7. Personally, I actually, for my RC7 squad, I use Giselle and Thoth, the unit I summoned for a lot of tickets. Use a lot of tickets to summon for her, but I use Giselle and Thoth leads for my RC7 squads, and it works wonders. It's wonderful. It's amazing. Yeah, it's just so good. She does so much damage. She honestly saves me so much time in RC7, makes it so much easier. She is probably a must-get unit for your water squad. So again, if you don't have her, you should get her. Honestly, I suggest her. So yeah, that's Giselle. Next unit. I have this unit. Somewhere. I haven't maxed it yet because I have friend leads that have a better Varano, that's better type, and also probably better L-gifts and spheres that I can never give this Varano. So Varana's a little bit lower on the scale, I guess, if I were to, again, it's all situational, but lower on the scale in terms of like power on all these units. But again, all these units have the 200% boost to attack and then 100% boost to defense and max HP. Again, like the other units, she has the 225% boost to elemental damage, which is thunder. That's the unit, and then the 50% damage reduction. I mainly use her as a friend lead because of the double attack, which is really good for killing arms. It sparks really nice with Deku's BB, and because Deku does also have a double attacking single target Brave Burst, or double attack single target on Brave Burst. There you go. And again, like all these units have the purging of status ailment negation effects, which is just really nice. A lot of these units are very repetitive with what they do and what their uses are for. That's just how it is. They're all meant to be kind of like similar to each other, but also have different effects. Like again, with Auric, he has a lot of crit and a lot of like status ailment infliction. Giselle has a lot of OD gauge fill rate and stuff like that. Varano has a lot of she has an elemental damage boosts on her Brave Burst and a lot of crit. So that's what she's meant for. If you can't cap crit on your team, Varano on your Thunder team, it's really good. And actually, I take back what I said earlier, saying that Varano's lower on the skill. She's actually pretty high because Thunder doesn't have jack shit going for them. What the fuck, Gumi? You know what I mean? Like Thunder has barely any units. Like they're super lacking if you don't have any collabs. Like their best units are obviously Deku, Toka, Sheriff. You can, oh yeah, the Thunder unit, the Thunder summoning gate is up, so you can get him. But Deku, Toka are definitely top 2 in Thunder, probably. They nuke really hard, but then they're both what like I guess brings them down is that they're both collab units and limited edition, and so Varano is really high, I guess, on that sort of in that sense. But other than RC7, I don't think she has like much uses, which is my problem. Or I guess like not my problem, but like what the problem is with this unit is that she doesn't have any outside uses like Giselle has uses for Frontier Hunter and IUV strats. Varano doesn't really have that because she's very replaceable with like a Tev lead, or like let's say you have a Deku lead, you can replace her with like a Tev lead or like another Thunder lead, like Toka, another, or even double Deku leads. Like why not do that, you know? And so that's like what her main problem is that her kit doesn't have buffs that are like good for outside content, I don't think, at least from what I know. I may be wrong, but from what I can tell is that just Thunder in general is just lacking. It's like one of the units, not one of the units, one of the types that really needs a buff, Thunder and Dark, because a lot of the units are just outdated. And yeah, other than Deku's a little bit interesting because of Deku side and stuff like that, but yeah, Varano really good. I think you should definitely try to get her if you don't really have a good solid Thunder team, because out of all the units here, I think Thunder and Dark are the 2 units where it's really hard to get a good team going with like just non-collab units. So yeah, that's Varano. The next one is Hakuso, which I think Giselle and Hakuso are the 2, I guess, I can't say best because I'm comparing units that are like different element, but out of this batch, these 2 are the units where they have a lot of uses outside of RC7, even though that's their main use. But Hakuso is just so good. Oh man, Like, he is probably one of the best light. He's, because I know a lot of people like to use Kaneki, double Kaneki lead or something like that in RG7. I actually like, personally, I like to use Hakuso lead and Kaneki lead for the RG7 Dark. For that chroma, you would use Kaneki, but Hakuso is a very good damage lead for light types, as he boosts spark damage by 180% in his leader skill, which is really good. And on top of that, damage taken usually boosts BB gauge, so he fills 6 to 10 BCs one hit, and that's insane. That's so good for BB management. That's so good also for, like, again, damage to it with a 180% boost to spark damage on top of the 225% boost to light elemental damage. It's so good. Again, like the other ones, they have the 200% boost to attack, 100% boost to defense and max HP, and then the 50% damage reduction. He has BB fill on Spark, which I think all these units have BB fill on Spark. Yeah, they do, as long as they have their sphere or BB sphere. So he's really good on that part. Like, really good. And main thing, again, all these units kill arms fast in RG7. You would want to get all of these. But for Hakuso, personally for me, what I like about this is that in his UBB, he boosts Spark Invulnerability, or he has enormous Spark Vulnerability Infliction, boosts Light Elemental damage, and then boosts Spark damage on his UBB. And then in his SPs, I'm going to show you here. In his SPs, you can get recasting, and it's 100. Is it 100? It's 100% recasting on his UBB, which is insane. That is incredible. That is so good for Frontier Hunter and stuff like that. And even like, because light can IUB. A mono light team can get that OD gauge, that overdrive gauge filled up super fast, and this UBB is really good to utilize that sort of strategy. And then obviously, like all the RC7 units, they have the because the bosses have a status ailment negation effect on their arms and body. You can purge that easily just with boop, you know. So yeah, again, you want to utilize these effects, because these can kill down arms very quick if you try them out yourself. So Hakuso is really good. And also, out of all the units, his art is probably the best one. It's the coolest one. He's a samurai. Like, why not get him, right? You know, he's so sick. He's amazing. Light has probably the best year this year. This year for Brave Frontier was probably the best for Light. Like, they got so many top tier units. It's insane. So yeah, that's Hakuso. Very good leader skill, good brave burst. Obviously, he can kill down those arms fast. He has spark damage boosts and stuff like that, which is more reliable than crit, obviously. And yeah, really good, since light teams can cap crit really quickly, so you don't really need the crit. So yeah, again, Hakuso, really good. If you really need a good light lead, you can use Hakuso. And then last but not least is Catering. I actually liked Catering coming out because, again, Dark is very lacking. And yeah, Dark is just really lacking. Main thing with Catering, again, they have all the 200% boosted attack, 100% boosted defense, and max HP. They have the usual dark elemental elemental damage boosts, and then the 50% damage reduction. On her leader skill, she actually raises attack parameter limits, which is really nice, because some units just can't do that, which is really sick. So you can break that. You can break the attack parameter limit, which is insane. And the main thing, is she has OD gauge boost on Brave Burst, which is really nice actually. For again, if you again, it has a lot of outside uses from RC7. All these units are meant for RC7. That's where they're out. They're meant for raid battle. They're meant to kill those arms. That is a given when you look at this batch. But the main thing, at least outside of RC7 for Catering, is that boost to OD gauge, which is really good. Again, IUBB is a thing. A lot of the newer content kind of counters IUBB, but it's still really good for like other content too. So Catering is really good for that. Obviously you want to get the obvious purging the status negation status ailment negation effects. I unlocked all 3 on this unit because again, one of the better dark leads. Another thing to get for Catering is that she has a, I think all these units have a DBB with someone, and for Catering, what's really good about it is that her DBB partner is Karis, and Karis is a really good leader too, and he's also a mitigator, so keep her out for that. UAB, I mean, again, it pierces, but doesn't really have that much uses outside of RC7, or even in RC7 too. Just doesn't have that much uses in general. Yeah, Catering, really good. Solid dark unit, really good for your dark team if you really need a dark leader. Again, dark is just lacking. Dark and Thunder are just lacking in I guess units to utilize, as a lot of them are like all collab units. So yeah, that's it. If you were to ask me to choose one unit, even though I don't like to do this, I'd say go for Hakuso or Giselle. Those two are like the best, or like they have the more uses outside of RC7. But again, this guide isn't to help you to boil down one unit to choose. I think all these units are great. It's just dependent on what you need for your squad. So again, all these units are great. All uses are solid. They all have their own uses in RC7 or outside content. People have probably found ways to use them outside of RC7. They're very useful in quests and stuff like that, obviously. And they're just solid leaders, right? Again, you just want that water elemental damage boost. That elemental damage boost, not just water, just that elemental damage boost. 225% is a lot. So, and all these units have that for each of their respective elements, and they just make it to where mono elements is just so key right now, and they fit in that. So, yeah, again, if you need a fire squad, go for Zorag. If you need help on your water squad, get Giselle. Need help on your thunder squad, boom, get Varano. She'll probably help you somewhat. Again, Thunder's just really lacking. Hakuso, really good lead, very complimentary alongside another vanilla lead or Kaneki lead. Just really good. They complement each other really well. He's a really good light leader. And then Catering, if you need a good lead for your dark squad. Again, dark is also really lacking too. And so, yeah. Hopefully this guide helped you in any way, shape, or form. It's kind of like simple as to, it's not as like deep as like the other one where I'm like telling you, oh, this is good, oh, these other units are great. I think all these units are good. Again, like I said, I'm getting very repetitive again, but like I said again, I just want to keep this in mind. All these units are good in their own way. It's just dependent on what you need for your squad. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. Again, hopefully this was informative and entertaining in any way, shape, or form. Please comment, like, and subscribe on the video. Tell me how I can improve, or just tell me if you like the video or not. And also check me out on the links below. I got links to my Twitch channel, which I streamed. I streamed earlier today, which was really fun. Just, you know, farming for spheres, stuff like that. And just chilling out and talking to you guys. It's really great. So yeah, and also if you want to, you can follow me on my Instagram. It's private right now, but I'll probably get it off private probably like tonight. But yeah, follow me on Instagram. It's gonna be down there too. Also, what I recently added are playlists to my, I guess, brief into your videos. So if you want to check out my summon videos, playlist down there, boom, there's a link right there. It's a tiny URL link. It will link you to, hopefully it will link you to my Brave Frontier Summons playlist. If you want to look at my other guides, I made some other guides. Most of them are like unit of choice guides. You can go check it out there in my playlist down there too for the guide section. So thank you guys for watching and have a wonderful day.